it is, exactly what it is trying to get along with people. So who is this webinar exactly for? So let's go ahead and chat about that real quick and see if this is a good fit for you. We're talking to people that are working right now, people that are currently looking for work. Maybe you're unemployed, maybe you were working on something else. That's definitely a big thing for employers, is soft skills, and we'll go into that in just a little bit. Leaders that want to be the best that they can be. I don't know about you, but I've had my experience with a lot of managers that have not been the most pleasant. So when you're dealing with people, you have to have people skills. And when you're managing and leading people, you need them. So this is for leaders that have anybody underneath them in an organization, or maybe in a personal situation where they are volunteering or something like that, any kind of organization outside of work. If you're in a team, so this is also good for teams, because like I said, we all have different personalities and different tastes. So this really helps with that as well. People that want to be seen for a promotion, anybody that wants to move up, which is probably all of y'all, because you're here on a Saturday wanting to learn more about soft skills. Probably some ambitious people going on here. So love it. Love to hear that. Love to see y'all here. But yeah, people that are seeking promotion, that don't just want to stay where they're at. They want to do something more. Business owners. So if you're a business owner, this is awesome for you as well. And, just pretty much everyone. Usually a lot of things don't fall into this category where it's just valuable for everyone, but it really is. I mean, it's useful for you professionally as well as personally. And so it's really, really great to have this and to be able to use a skill. And the great thing is, and I think we talk about this in a little bit, but you actually get to take these skills now and you can practice them the second we get off of this webinar. So that's what I like about soft skills, is that they are transferable into different situations, and they're not just, so specific that you can't use them anywhere else. So here's just a few quick housekeeping tips that I ask of you while we're doing this. Now, I think we've got our chat turned off, so I don't believe our chat function is on right now. So if you have any questions, make sure you write them down, and then we will have a chat session the last 10 minutes of this webinar. So plan for about 40 minutes altogether here today, but have some pen and paper ready, because you could be taking notes, maybe thinking of situations, writing down your questions, all that good stuff. We got a lot of great information here for you. And be in a place where you can learn and absorb. That's such a huge thing for me. I like to do, and this is kind of my little secret, guys, I like to do webinars when I'm, doing other things, but this is really something huge that is very valuable. This is not just something where I'm showing you 10 tips to, greater success in general. This is, not that that's not valuable, but this is very specific, very on time, and very relevant to every aspect of your world. And I do apologize. I just saw a typo there on my thing there. I got to make sure I make a note of that. So, but anyway, housekeeping tips, and then get ready to apply these skills today. So don't think that you've got to wait till Monday for them. You can use them as soon as we get off of here. Okay. So who are we? Who exactly, how do we have the authority to talk about this? Well, together we are two different organizations that have two different purposes. Office MVPs is an organization, it's a for-profit. The goal is to train, coach, and provide you with valuable content that will help enhance and build your personal and career skills. So trying to help you out with your pretty much overall life-work balance, and giving you the skills that you need to advance, such as soft skills. If you're interested, if you go on LinkedIn and look up Office MVPs, she's almost at 190,000 connections. So it's a huge group, very valuable. She puts out great articles. And then today I'm presenting, my name is Jen Teague. I'm with Jen Teague LLC. And what I do is I came in as a former recruiter. So my goal is to help small startup and small businesses eliminate unnecessary turnover by creating hiring processes for their company. So that's a whole mouthful. Basically, what I do is I take all my recruiting experience and I turn it into useful information for startups and small businesses so that they can hire as well. They don't have to hire a recruiter, or they don't have to depend on other people. They can actually get their own hiring practices together. Even if they decide to go outside, they can still use these skills. So I have almost 20 years of recruiting experience in a lot of different industries. So, and I've also been featured in articles on Carol Roth, Fox Business, and recruiter.com. I've been in a lot of different articles. If you want, you can see where I've been featured. I don't know how updated it is. I need to go back in and update it because I've been featured in a few more articles I don't think are online yet. But you can go to genteague.com. It's just my name and then .com, genteague.com. And you can go see all the articles, and then you can read a little bit more about my services as well if you're interested. All right, so let's go ahead and dig in. Just didn't want y'all to be in here blindly going, who is this person talking, and why does she have authority? Well, because of the recruiting experience. We have such a high demand for soft skills, and it's just there's no courses for it. So this is very unique. And having the technical skills and knowledge to successfully execute your job duties is only one part of being the best you can be in the workplace. So, you've got your technical skills, you've got your degree, you've got schooling, education, maybe you've done some continuing ed, maybe you're taking courses right now. Maybe you're going through some kind of, they've got Six Sigma, they've got all these different things that you can do that you can learn and expand on what you already know and become better in different areas. Well, and that's great. And having the technical skills is awesome because obviously you need to know how to do your job, right? I mean, that makes sense. So that's great, but soft skills are those skills which allow us to effectively work with others. And that's usually one of the skills that gets overlooked, unfortunately. And it really is sad and unfortunate because soft skills help with company culture. It helps with employee morale. Soft skills help with, when push comes to shove, soft skills are what's going to get you the job. It's going to get you the promotion. It's going to get you everything that you want to succeed and how you think you can succeed. So soft skills are really, really important. And again, I keep emphasizing this, but it's the truth. We're all different people, and we're all correct, right? I mean, none of us are wrong. So we have to make sure that we can get along with everybody, and we've got to make sure that we can do that effectively, and work with others as well. So taking the time to build these effective soft skills can contribute to a more efficient, more harmonious, and more productive workplace, as well as your overall job happiness and satisfaction. So, when we're angry with each other, when there's anger and negativity, I don't remember where this study was done, but years ago, I read something about a study that when you have negativity going on in your mind, in your heart, if you've got negativity then you've got less energy. You actually project less energy. It takes more energy to be negative than it does to be positive. So these soft skills are really going to help you overall in your job happiness, in your happiness at work, as well as satisfaction, just in general. So. And if you don't mind, if you could all mute your lines, we've got some feedback, some background noise going on, and I just want to make sure that everyone can hear okay, because we are getting into the nuts and bolts of this, I promise. This is just the introduction part. So I do appreciate you, though. All right, so today, the objectives. So within just the next few minutes, we're going to talk about how soft skills are important to success in the workplace. We're going to talk about 2 of the 10 soft skills that everyone should have, and these are really 2 key ones. Not that the other 8 aren't important, but these are really, really huge. We're going to use soft skills to relate more effectively to others in the workplace. And we need to add a little bit more to that, I think. Just in your life in general, it's going to help you. We're going to understand how to use soft skills to communicate, problem solve, and resolve conflict, as well as apply soft skills to specific situations. So we've got a lot to chew off here. So we're going to go ahead and dig right in. All right. So, what exactly are soft skills? Well, soft skills are the personal attributes that allow us to effectively relate to each other. And when we're talking about relating to others, I think we kind of misunderstand what relating to others means. We have social media and Facebook and people that just want to be in your face and drastic, and everything is so extreme right now. But really, in the end, I think we're all just looking for that attention. We all want to know that we're important, and we all want to know that we're needed in this world. And I think that, and this is just, again, I mean, this is not, scientific or anything, but I think that the soft skills, being able to have soft skills and relate to everyone, even if you don't think you can relate to them, there's always a common thread that everyone has in this world, whether it's the necessity to be needed, to feel wanted, to feel loved. We all have something in common. So I think we can all effectively relate to each other. Now, applying these skills helps us build stronger work relationships, work more productively, and maximize our career prospects. So the only thing that you can get out of this, there's no negativity out of this. All you can do is move up and become better at your job, in your relationships, in your everyday experiences, at the bank, at the grocery store, whatever the case may be. It's just going to help you out even more. So let's talk a little bit more about why soft skills are so important. So they did, and this is really, really recent, from monster.com, there was an article, and I just thought this was so fascinating. So they took a survey from employers, and monster.com has tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of employers on there. They took a survey and asked, what do you look for in employees? And these are the top 7 things that they look for in employees whenever they're hiring, whenever they're promoting, whatever. This is what they want in their employees. Notice that there's not a lot of hard skills here. The data analytics, that's hard. Possibly good business sense in social media, maybe. I mean, those are kind of soft skills too. But if you really want to stretch it, we can say that 3 of the 7 are hard skills, okay, just for sake of argument. But look at this: problem solving, willingness to learn, creativity, resiliency. Resiliency is being able to bounce back from certain situations and being able to handle criticism and being able to take that and use that. Believe it or not, there is good criticism. I know it sounds crazy, but when you have good people skills and good soft skills as a manager, you can get that across effectively. And it doesn't mean that you have to be nervous about giving that information any kind of feedback or anything. It really is just feedback. So trying to make sure that you're making that person the best that they can be. But so these are the different skills that employers are looking for in employees. And it doesn't have anything to do, I want to point this out, there's nothing here about degrees, okay? Y'all, I have been licensed in so many things. It's ridiculous. I've been a realtor. I've been a financial advisor. I've had so many different licenses. The only one I haven't had is PHR, which ironically, I've never found that to be a need that I've needed as a recruiter. But anyway, so none of this has to do with what with education on paper, other than the data analytics. But I mean, there's just so much that is personal instead of something that you can get from a piece of paper. And this is just more of a hypothetical, but bringing it home, kind of honing in on this. When have you wished someone showed you empathy about something you were going through? We're all human. We all have things that we are going through, and it's always very hard and difficult to go through them because we always feel like we're going through them by ourselves. But when you think of soft skills, think about, wow, I had this one time where I wanted someone to empathize with me and no one did. They just said, oh, well, chin up, you'll be fine. Or, they try to just blow it off or whatever. And that's the unfortunate part of being in corporate America. Everyone's afraid to say something because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings or cross that line. And, it's time that we become human again, y'all. That's kind of what soft skills are all about. So let's talk first about emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is how advanced we are, or how we are able to react to certain things, how we are when it comes to our emotions and understanding what is coming at us. So if you're interested, emotional intelligence, I mean, there are people that spend their whole career studying this. So this is just a 2-second tutorial of what emotional intelligence really is. But if you're interested, there's a quick free emotional intelligence quiz at ihhp.com. So if you want to go take that after this webinar, I encourage you to do that because it'll show you where your emotional intelligence really is strong and where it's weaker, and the areas that you might need to work on. And there's also numerous books here that I've listed as well to show, in case if you do want to dig more into it and talk or think about more about it, kind of to get to know more information about it as well. Now, there are 4 keys. Again, kind of condensing it, we're talking about 4 components to emotional intelligence. We're talking about self-awareness, which is the ability to recognize our own feelings and motivations. Self-management, which is the ability to appropriately express or not express feelings, which I think we've all seen this on social media where we need a lot of self-management. Social awareness, our ability to recognize the feelings and needs of others and the norms of a given situation. And then we've got relationship management as well. And that's our ability to relate effectively to others. So emotional intelligence is more than just one thing. And you don't just master emotional intelligence, right? Like your intelligence, you don't ever master intelligence. There's always more to learn. There's always different ways you can do things. So this is something that is always evolving and always changing. And this is really important when it comes to understanding others and situations, especially self-management. What I've seen over the years is just being able to appropriately express or not express feelings. That's a huge one because a lot of people don't know the difference between when to speak up and when not to. And I don't think any of us are perfect at any of these things. So I know there's still a lot of work I need to do on that part, as well as all the others, the self-awareness, social awareness, and relationship management. But again, you can, go to ihpp.com. We're not promoting them. It's just that they have a great free mini quiz that you can take. It takes a couple minutes and you can find out a little bit more about emotional intelligence that way. So talking a little bit, jumping into professionalism, before we get too much into that, I do want to go back a little bit and talk more about the emotional intelligence and just empathy in general. So there was a time where I was in a management position and my dad had passed away. It was 10 years ago. And my dad and I were very close. It was just something that was really difficult for me. And I was in my late 20s, didn't know what to do, had never had anyone really pass away that I knew that deeply. And so it was really difficult. So like I said, I was in a management position. It was a 24-hour, 7 days a week kind of position. It was torture, to say the least. But I went on bereavement leave, took some PTO, and came back to and everything was taken care of. I had a list of everything that was going on. So I'm trying to condense this whole story. So came back, and I had found emails about how I needed to be replaced, how I was doing a terrible job. Mind you, my phone was turned off this whole week. I had no access to emails. I was not about to deal with work stuff. So this is when I came back the following Monday, and I got griped at by the director of HR. I got griped at by her because I was not doing my job, and I ended up crying. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, look, I'm still grieving. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. This is odd. And she said, well, I was going to give you about 2 weeks to handle it, and then if you couldn't, then I was going to, have a talk with you and probably have to terminate you. So, you know, people skills, y'all, soft skills. That is where soft skills are important. We need to realize that people are going through things, whether they say it or not, whether they're expressive about it or not, that's up to them. That's not for us to judge how difficult the situation is, right? I mean, maybe someone's broken nail is just as difficult as I don't know, someone's broken down car, we all have different priorities and different things that happen to us. And even if we don't understand it, we can always just be there and just say, hey, I am so sorry you're going through that. Let me know if I can help you. Nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to let you know that this is very near and dear to me, these soft skills, because I have seen it so many times go wrong instead of doing it right. So that's a huge deal to me. So let's move on to the second one. So we talked about empathy. We talked about emotional intelligence. That was skill number one. Skill number two is professionalism. And professionalism is the ability to conduct yourself with responsibility, integrity, accountability, and that's twice. Apparently, we're accounting twice, and excellence. So, professionalism, this is the definition of it. This is what we consider professionalism, and being able to be professional. I'm sure we've all experienced those emails where we've gotten, everything in caps, or, just the rudeness of people talking on the phone. That's obviously not very professional, but here we go. We can put it into words. So, can soft skills really be learned? Okay. Now, we didn't really talk much about professionalism. I think that's kind of more of an understood thing. I think a lot of people think that they're a professional, but unfortunately, they're not. And understanding that it is about integrity and accountability, all those things, that is what professionalism is. We want to make sure that we're bringing that all the time to every situation, even when our emotions don't want us to, even when we feel like we're in the right and someone else is in the wrong, when someone else is taking us and trying to belittle us, we need to be that person that is one step ahead of them. And we need to be that higher person and say, you know what? Let's say, for example, going back to professionalism. Sorry, I'm skipping around these slides, y'all. But so let's say you have somebody, whether it's a superior or a coworker, who is talking down to you. Workplace bullying is becoming a huge problem, and it has been for years and years and years. So let's take that situation where someone is talking down to you, and you're almost shocked. You're like, wow, I can't believe I'm at work here listening to this. The best way to handle that situation, and this is not like a legal thing or anything like that, but just to let you know how I've seen it work in the past, is to stop the person and say, look, I understand that you are upset about something, but until this can be resolved, I cannot sit here and talk about this. And literally just get up and walk out. It's going to make them mad. It's going to make them furious, but you cannot, again, you can't help them. You can't help their situation. You can't help how they react to things. You can help how you react to things. Soft skills does not mean that you get taken advantage of and walked all over. It means that you are using your abilities to create better situations for everybody. And that's what soft skills are all about. So if you are in a situation like that, go straight to your manager and tell them, say, hey, you know what? I just got into a tiff with, so-and-so. They started yelling at me. This is what happened. I told them, we would talk about this later, that we need to kind of bring it down a little bit and talk about this at a different time, and have it recorded. A lot of things, everything, if it's not documented, if it's not on paper, it never happened. So just make sure that you document that kind of stuff. But it's frustrating because I've had so many situations in the past where I was bullied at the workplace, and I allowed that to happen to myself because I didn't say anything. And not that I'm saying that workplace bullying is anybody's fault that way, but if I would have said something and said, look, I cannot talk to you in this manner, let's plan on some other time. That would have really changed a lot of situations, I think. But I have done that. Later on, I learned how to handle those situations better, and they really do work. Sometimes people just come back and they say, hey, you know what, I'm so sorry. Or, hey, I was having a really rough time. Can we talk about this now? They'll usually come back and kind of 180 on you and be just fine after that. So let's go back to the slides now. So soft skills, can they really be learned? Do you really think that sales can be learned? Do you think that how to deal with people can be learned? Do you think that customer service can be learned? This is all soft skills, y'all. And yes, we can. Okay. So let's talk about D. Okay. Now D is one of those people that is really quiet, and so really quiet at the workplace, kind of stays to herself, and doesn't really involve herself with much. Okay, so not very personable. Just kind of takes everything and heads to work and kind of almost like a punches a clock, and that's pretty much it. So that's, and then just heads home. She's not really a people person. She does prefer to work by herself, and her position allows her to do that, right? So she's valued her productivity. She likes to meet the deadlines and exceeds expectations. So work-wise, she's doing everything right. But when she had to interact with coworkers throughout the day, she just preferred to keep the interactions brief. And that was it. Just, hey, what do you need? Let's do this. That's fine. Okay, we'll get it done. So that's pretty much how she was. She said she's just not wired to be social. I don't really relate to others when I feel like they're wasting my time. I've always been kind of a loner. It just comes natural to me. Okay, now how many times have we heard, oh, that's just how I am, or that's just how so-and-so is? Same thing with D. All right, D was just like, that's just how I am. I'm just by myself. Okay, so D actually was kind of addressed, and she said, she had a coworker that said, try to approach others and just try to see them as people that need problem solving and answers. And you have those answers. They're not interruptions. You are an answer to a problem. And once Dee started seeing it that way, instead of everyone interrupting her and taking up her time and what do they need, and she started interacting more with people. She started kind of understanding, oh, wait, this is what people need. I'm a problem solver. They have problems. Why don't we work together? So in the end, Dee learned that she could actually learn these skills if she just had the right mindset and she had the right information. So, a lot of soft skills is about mindset. It's about understanding. And again, y'all are here for a reason. You want to advance and excel. And so you want to make yourselves better. And so here, Dee wanted to make herself better too. And so that's where she decided she was going to see everything differently and kind of come from the perspective of others, where that empathy comes in, and just understanding, okay, they have the situation that they need my help with, and I am actually going to help them out. So there's a story about Dee. So moral of the story, don't be like Dee. Don't be a loner. Don't say, oh, I'm not, this isn't me. I'm just not that way. I don't know if I can do it. I've always done it this way. It's not natural to me. I can't do it. Y'all, you can. Okay. So we just talked about empathy and we talked about professionalism. And we have 8 more soft skills that you need to succeed. And fortunately for you, we do have a course going on right now. This is kind of the introduction to it. We have 10 skills, excuse me, 10 soft skills you need to succeed. And what it is it is a webinar based program that we are offering through Office MVPs as well as Gen Teague LLC. And y'all, this is a great program. Again, we've scoured the internet, we've looked, and we don't see this kind of stuff being offered anywhere else. This is really practical, sound information that is not going to be a bunch of buzzwords. It's not going to be a trend. Soft skills are needed every day, all the time by people. So you're not just going to see this fade away anytime soon. This is something that is needed yesterday, today, and it'll be needed for forever. So what we're offering is a 4-week course every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So I don't know, you'll have to take your own time zone and convert it there. But
no, I think it's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard and 12 p.m. Central Standard.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thank you. That's Melissa with Office MVPs. So she's the partner. She's the brain behind all this. So yeah. So basically it's going to be 12 o'clock Central Time. So the exact same time as we have today. It's starting up next week. And we have very limited seats because we want to make sure that we get everyone and that we are making sure that everyone is able to attend and get the attention that they need. So what we have is we've got our hour-long web.
Hello? Oh, where'd you go, Jen? What happened? Oh, did we? Hello? What happened, Jen?